This is Pulse 95.
Pulse 95.
It's the Morning Majlis.
Talking the stories that are shaping headlines, plus those that make you go,
Hello everybody, good morning and welcome to the Morning Majlis, the show where we talk about stories shaping the headlines. Today is Monday, July 13th, and we'll be discussing a number of developments from the country here in the UAE and around the world. And before we get into the news, we'd like to offer our sincerest condolences on the tragic passing of His Highness Sheikh Ahmed bin Sultan Al Qasimi, Deputy Ruler of Sharjah. And we pray here that may God Almighty rest his soul in peace and grant his family patience and solace during this difficult time.
Yeah, definitely. It's a sad time with the passing of Sheikh Ahmed bin Sultan Al Qasimi. May his soul rest in peace, and inshallah he will be rewarded in heaven. He was truly a great man, as he was also responsible for so many amazing contributions for the Emirate of Sharjah. And I truly wish Allah will grant his family and loved ones the patience on his loss.
Yep, certainly. And looking at the developments here on the Morning Majlis, we're going to be talking a lot about paying our tributes as well, because the Emirate had been going through a 3-day mourning period. And moving on as well, we'll be looking at the big developments that have been shaping the headlines not only here locally but also abroad, because a number of people who were residents of the country were willing to return and renew their visas after the 31st of December. A lot of people had the updates on their smart applications that their visas, which were due to expire or have expired this year, were all valid till the end of December. But that has changed, and that is it's a gentle reminder from Pulse 95 Radio, in fact, to review your applications, because you have to avoid the fines, because it was an overnight decision. It was a decision that was made over the weekend, and we are now going to give you a little bit of a breakdown here on the Morning Majlis in terms of what you need to do next. But in terms of residents abroad, if Rania was abroad, she now has the idea that she can travel.
Yes, we will later talk about Iraq, because now it's allowing its citizens to travel abroad. And we'll highlight the conditions that they need to follow despite the recent spike in the coronavirus cases and fatalities in the country. And everything in regards to that, we will keep you updated on the latest.
We'll also keep you updated on the latest international stories around the world, the state of the national security law in Hong Kong, how the people have been reacting. Also, the state of coronavirus cases in the United States, plus a number of business stories. We'll look at the world of automobiles, price slashings, and the impact of the coronavirus on business at large. Stay tuned for all those developments and so much more right here on the Morning Majlis.
This is Pulse 95.
Pulse 95.
It's the Morning Majlis.
Hi everybody, good morning and welcome back to the program, talking the latest development here from the United Arab Emirates, as residents in the country can now renew identity cards and visas starting today. This is according to the Federal Authority for Identity and Citizenship. This service had been temporarily suspended as a result of lockdown measures introduced to prevent the spread of the coronavirus. However, this changed following new directives that were issued over the weekend, with residents now offered a 3-month grace period to renew their residency visas if they had been in the country.
Now, for those who don't know, what does that mean? What does the new 3-month grace period really mean? Now, for people inside the UAE whose resident permit expires after March 1st, they now have a 3-month grace period starting from July 11th. They must renew their visas prior to October 11th. Earlier residence permits expiring post March 1st were actually automatically renewed until the end of December. And that is, of course, to mitigate for the impact of the coronavirus pandemic. But as for July 11th, the residency extensions until the end of the year are no longer applicable. And this covers everybody who holds a UAE residence permit that expired after March 1st. It covers dependents, employees, and everybody else.
Well, what's actually happening is there is a phased process of renewing the residency at the moment. So those who whose visas expired in May, they will be processed from August 8. Well, those that expired in June and on July 1st to 11 will start being processed from September 10. This is a phase-wise renewal schedule and will help us implement social distancing at ICA centres as a precautionary measure against the spread of COVID-19. And they also urge you to do so online. So basically, if your visa had expired in March or April, renew it immediately. And that is the big message that has come from the authorities as we continue to curb the spread of COVID-19 and also help in processing a number of applications that will be taking place. Now, what we do know is in terms of tourist arrivals or even residents arriving from abroad, if they have a GDRFA approval, they can land in both Dubai and Sharjah. But if they were to land in Abu Dhabi, they need the ICA approval for all residents that are arriving. And that is the given rule. That's what the airlines across the world have been instructing their passengers. So before you come in or turn up for check-in, if you are flying to the nation's capital, you need the ICA approval. And that's the situation at the moment. But it's great to see that it's been clarified now. So all information can be given and found out online on the portals.
That's right. You may access the information on how to renew your visas and what needs to be done by logging into the government portal and entering your residence permit details, checking the expiry date so you are clear about when a renewal is required. And the main website for this is ica.gov.ae, and that is ica.gov.ae. Everything you need to know with regards to this change, this new development, can be found on that website. And fines would be charged for residents inside the UAE if their visa is not renewed within the 3-month grace period. So again, the website to visit is ica.gov.ae. They have a smart services section, a form that you could fill with your Emirates ID number, and you could pretty much have your questions as well answered in their frequently asked questions page.
Yep, and there's a lot of confusion in terms of for those people who are still abroad and they have not been out of the UAE for more than 180 days. They have 1 month after they enter to renew their residency visas. The implementation will be clear in the coming weeks for residents whose visas expired after March 1 and have been out of the country for more than 180 days. A specific grace period will be given by the ICA, and that is what we do know so far. So for those people who are here in the country, you have that 3-month grace period. For those abroad, you have 1 month after you've re-entered the country. Fines is about 25 dirhams per day and 20 dirhams per day for failing to renew an Emirates identity card that can go up to as high as 1,000 dirhams. So everyone is expected to check all portals for the new expiry dates and renew before the grace period ends. Well, time now for us to take a bit of a breather. We shall return with more travel advisories issued to people across this region because the Iraqi government has also made some new guidelines for residents or nationals who wish to travel abroad. Stay with us on the Morning Majlis.
Pulse 95. Between local lines. Notes from the Emirate.
Notes from the Emirates of Sharjah. We've got the launch of a virtual campaign called Happiness from Here. And this is about the members of the Sharjah Girl Guides. Now, we will give you a bit more information about what this group does if you've never heard of it, but for its members who are out there listening to us, tuning in, send us your thoughts and opinions on text lines 4215 of how you have benefited from it. And because of the coronavirus pandemic, 2 things have emerged. One thing is mental stress. People worried, uncertainty, whether it's job-wise, whether it's the education of the children, whether it is their own education. And the other thing is that I suffered from and so did Omar al-Douri in particular, is when we were at home, we didn't know how to train all the time. The fitness aspect was something that we missed because the gyms were closed. And of course, Omar al-Douri being a trainer and giving us the classes online, which is great. But how can certain platforms, virtual platforms and virtual learning help us benefit with that as well? So, in line with this and the launch of this campaign, we've got a very special guest here this morning, Nojoud Ali Al-Marzooqi, who's the event executive. A very good morning.
Good morning. Hi, everybody.
Well, it was great to hear from you, Nojoud. Now, talk to us about this Happiness From Here campaign. And you're covering a number of topics. What's happening with this campaign?
So the campaign was a virtual campaign, and it went through various subjects over the targeted audience, including their mothers as well. Due to the current case of COVID-19, we were trying to do our best to spread awareness to ensure the importance of good mental health and mindfulness and well-being.
Mm-hmm. Now, who is this project open to? Because what we understand is a lot of these campaigns and virtual platforms, virtual meetings have been taking place on the Instagram page, if we're not wrong, and who can access them?
So this campaign was open for the kids from 7 years old till 18. But this campaign also, there were parts for the mothers, for their mothers, and for the public in general. For example, we had workshops, artistic workshops. We had healthy juices recipes. We had a session called Fit Hour. It was about teaching the kids and also their mothers how to exercise at home. We had life coaching. We had artistic workshops and home organizing.
Can you take us through the challenges that Sharjah Girl Guides came across during this launch?
The challenges were that we had some pressure on the artistic workshops. Apparently, kids prefer to register in things that includes art. So we had a number of registers over the number that we expected. And also, a lot of public people from public who didn't know about SGG were trying to register, and they end up joining the sessions without registering with us.
So how can the general public take part in this?
The public, as I mentioned before, we did some sessions for public, and they were for everybody. So a lot of people participated with us, and we got a lot of new registered members as well.
With us on the phone is Nojoud Ali Al-Marzooqi, event executive at Sharjah Girl Guides. And Nojoud, I have a question for you with regards to some of the more mental health aspects of what you're doing here. There's a number of interesting sessions. For example, one about inner beauty, another one about maintaining a healthy state of mind during this time and true self-love. Can you talk to us more about that aspect of the workshops that you're hosting?
Sure. So we thought about people during the quarantine and the things that people have faced during this particular time. And we thought of doing things that teach people how to deal with their emotions and how to express themselves. Of course, this journey has been challenging for all of us, and we had a lot of ups and downs. And most of us didn't know what to do or how to deal with their feelings during this time. So we thought of focusing on the quality of life and relationships during this time.
Yep. Now, I'd like to also touch on the aspect of how long this campaign is going to go on for, and what was the real purpose of having it done virtually as well, and to come up with this title, Happiness From Here.
First of all, we did this campaign to teach our members and to start a campaign that focuses on the well-being and to focus and teach the kids and their mothers as well, all the people who are following and people who are influenced by SDG, how to deal with this hard time that we were living in, and how to focus on their well-being for the long term. For example, a lot of us don't know how to face their emotions, how to deal with the things that they're having inside themselves. Also, the well-being is important because it reflects on the physical health as well.
Mm-hmm.
As for the... I'm sorry, I forgot the second part of the question.
How long is this campaign going on for?
It was for a week, and we did it virtually to avoid the social... to go with the social distance,
Mm-hmm.
and to do something that is also interesting for the kids as well. So we did this virtual campaign for a week, and we are for sure going to do a lot of virtual events soon.
Well, incredible
For
stuff. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, for those who don't know about us, we are an entity that targets young girls. We are Sharjah Girl Guide, and we do events for guiding and scout and all things to improve and influence our younger generation. You can go to our social media and learn more about us and join us.
Yeah, and just want to clarify, so the Sharjah Girl Guides is all open to all nationalities and residents?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes, sure.
Well,
Welcome.
Well, that is something to look forward to. Now, I'd like to get your final thoughts for all your members who might have been listening to us this morning, and all potential members about your campaign and about what we are aiming to achieve, and some final messages for them to keep them motivated as well.
We love having our members all the time. Our hearts and arms are open for you all the time. Please let us know if there's something we missed, or something you want to learn about, or something you want to go through. Also, I want to tell them that we are here for you during this pandemic, and we will get through it, inshallah, together. And we're happy to be here with you.
Well, we were happy to have you on board with us this morning. Thank you for joining us, Nojoud, and we're hoping that we can bring you onto the show, and some of your members as well, later on to discuss about the campaigns, discuss about what your team has been up to, and be happy from here.
Thank you.
All right. Well, have a very good day ahead, and we will continue the discussions right here on the Morning Majlis. So stay with us. We're continuing the community spirit, as we will be talking about new initiatives here in the Emirate of Sharjah, and what has been out there in terms of the Sharjah Prevention and Safety Authority, how they've come up with new training programs. Stay with us. This is the Morning Majlis.
This is Pulse 95.
Pulse 95.
It's the Morning Majlis. It's the Morning Majlis.
Hello and welcome back onto the Morning Majlis. Just a bit of a shame how we're back to the normal situation. Reckless driving and inattentive driving as well, leading to these crashes and causing these long delays on the motorways.
Indeed.
Just a bit of a sigh. But what can we do? Speaking of going back to normal, we had and saw the return of cricket yesterday. Well, it started with the 5-day test match, but finally we got the results, and there was a result that a lot of cricket fans might have been hoping for, to wish the Caribbean side to win that encounter, and they did, and a fantastic knock to beat England. West Indies cricket, a remarkable feat, really resurging again. Shout out to Omar Abdouri, who is an Arsenal fan. Sadly, the London derby didn't end up in his favour, and we did discuss this during our halftime majlis after our gym session, that he was very passionate about Arsenal avoiding that defeat against Tottenham, and because if that happens, there's going to be worrying signs. Well, Newcastle had worrying signs indeed, but so is Arsenal now also in the same camp. But one thing that really got everyone excited was Ahmed Dawood's cup of tea. It was the world of UFC.
Yeah, in fact, over the weekend we had UFC 251 here in Fight Island in Abu Dhabi. There was a lot of hype behind the event, and if you speak to a lot of the fans who got to watch it, they would say it delivered for the most part, except the main fight here between Usman and Masvidal. Understandably, because Masvidal took the fight on a 6-day notice. There's only so much you could do as far as getting in shape and preparing for your opponent within that time period. But another happy face about this night is UFC President Dana White saying he was thrilled with how the event had gone, and even said he's hunting for a house in Abu Dhabi. He also stated that the concept is certainly successful, that Abu Dhabi is a great partner for UFC events, that he loves the way things are done in the Emirates, and that he certainly looks forward to the next set of UFC events that are set to take place later this month as well.
Yes, and Jorge Masvidal actually was defeated comfortably by welterweight title holder Kamaru Usman in the headline bout in the opener to Fight Island at Flash Forum. He also said that he let a lot of people down in his title defeat at the UFC 251 yesterday, but vowed not to quit the sport until he finally becomes champion.
Yeah, we had 3 titles that were fought for. One was a new winner, 2 successfully defended. A new winner was Peter Yan, who clinched the bantamweight title. It was a ruthless performance against Brazil's Jose Aldo, and it was it was a technical knockout, and it was a very, very important finish there. But looking ahead, we now have the 18th of July and Saturday, the 25th of July to look forward to. We have big stars such as Calvin Kattar, and we have Dan Ige. And we've also got the big fight that everyone's going to be looking forward to is Robert Whittaker and Darren Till.
That's right. That's a big one that is certainly set to take place on Sunday, July 26th. The matchup between Robert Whittaker and Darren Till, the big middleweights. We also have a fight night this weekend, in fact, Thursday, July 16th. And the event that is set to take place, UFC Fight Night 172. Another event set to take place on Sunday, the 19th of July. So almost every week you have a UFC event to look forward to. And I am certain that our very own Omar Adouri, host of the Halftime Show, will be giving you the breakdown, the lowdown on what to expect during these nights, as well as breakdowns of the fights. But this was a successful event here, UFC 251. Always amazing to see sporting events do well, especially at such a difficult time as this one. And literally every fight except for the main one delivered, and it was an exciting time. Even watching it, you couldn't hear an audience or a crowd roaring, but you heard the coaches speak to the fighters. It was an immersive experience, a great viewing package. So there's lots to look forward to as far as UFC events here in the country.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big thing for the nation's capital, Abu Dhabi, and for the United Arab Emirates as a whole to be able to host such a grand event, which started off as just an idea, and it came into fruition within a period of 1 month. For us to be prepared for it, and a number of fighters had to quarantine in the nation's capital. Technical staff had to quarantine, everyone had to quarantine, and to make sure that everything is being conducted in a safe and a secure environment. But for now, Morning Majlis shall be saying goodbye, and we'll be returning bright and early tomorrow morning with more discussions and more aspects and more things to take back for entrepreneurs, because we'll be hearing from the Badri Academy as well. For now, until next time, it's goodbye.
That's right. Goodbye. Take care. Stay safe and stay healthy. And if you missed the show, check out our highlights by heading over to SoundCloud and typing The Morning Majlis in the search bar. Stay tuned to Pulse 95. So much more to come. See you tomorrow at 7 a.m.
Heart of Sharjah.